Kenya. As you have heard, there have been various meetings where the Council of Governors has been participating. The meetings of 18th, of 19th, and of 21st, where despite the whole of government team being kept waiting, they patiently stayed and negotiated until close to midnight and initialed the agreement that was to be lodged in court. Mine is to bring to your attention the details of what the county governments had agreed so that the public is aware. And as you have heard, all the issues that had been raised that were relating to county governments had been agreed on and signed off. The agreed upon position inter alia provides as follows. Number one, on medical insurance, it was agreed that county governments that had not provided medical cover to the doctors to commence the process of acquiring the medical cover forthwith. Number two, on release of doctors on postgraduate study, that counties to continue releasing doctors for postgraduate studies based on county needs and the longevity of service. Three, on employment of doctors, that county governments would recruit doctors on availability of resources as informed by the staff establishments. Four, on the issue of car loan and mortgages for doctors, albeit reluctantly, because this to county governments was not our priority at this time when we have financial constraints, the county governments agreed to engage the National Treasury in the next 6 months for seed funding to enable county governments to set up the scheme for the doctors. Number five, on new collective bargaining agreement, that the Council of Governors will initiate and coordinate the process of negotiating a new CBA with every county government within 30 days from the date of execution of the return to work formula. And six, on basic salary arrears, the county governments shall make payments of the basic pay salary arrears accrued to the doctors as contained in the CBA 2017-2021 upon receipt of a conditional grant from the National Treasury. The payment shall be made in a phased manner over a period of 5 years. Further, that resources for sustainability shall be provided by the National Treasury and payment by county governments shall be subject to the National Treasury providing the resources. It was further agreed that the union shall immediately call off the strike and the union members participating in the strike arising from the strike notice dated 6 March 2024 shall immediately return to work, but not later than within 24 hours of executing this deed. This agreement was initialized and was to be adopted as consent to be filed in court. The parties were to sign the deed yesterday, 22nd April 2024, at a meeting scheduled for 2 p.m. However, we waited patiently and were informed that the union leaders were held up in a meeting to deliberate the matter. It is most unfortunate that the doctors have deliberately refused and ignored or disregarded the courtesies extended to them. The doctors are therefore insensitive to the suffering and plight of the vulnerable Kenyans in dire need of health services. We wish to reiterate that all county-specific issues as raised by the union were adequately agreed upon. This is therefore simply unacceptable and have left the governments, the county governments and respective employers to deal with this long unwarranted strike as they deem fit within the HR policies and practices. We therefore advise all county governments to take appropriate and necessary action to ensure that health services are not disrupted moving forward. Asante Sana, Chairperson, on behalf of the Council of Governors. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this strike has been an opportunity for the Ministry of Health to introspect and look inwards on the management of human resource for health. So immediately, the Ministry has embarked on review of the internship policy, and this is to align it to the inflow of interns from the 8 teaching universities and to equally align it to the reality of the fiscal space of the country. Equally, the Ministry of Health has also embarked on a human resource for health policy to ensure proper management of human resource for health from production, management to separation. In view of what has been done already, we would like to confirm that the Ministry of Health has managed to get 3.5 billion for payment of salary arrears from 2017 to 2024 June. This will be paid in 5 installments each financial year. Equally, the Ministry has received 2.4 billion for payment of internship. And I want to clarify that this 2.4 billion is available to the Ministry up to June 2024. So the offer of 70,000 for those interns who need to be posted is still available, and this offer shall have to be renegotiated after June 2024. Also, the Ministry has received 200 million shillings for payment of postgraduate arrears for the doctors who had done their specialty training. This will be wired directly to the university. So as a government, through the ministry, we have received a total of 6.1 billion for settlement of the issues raised by the doctors. Follow up to the doctors' refusal to call off the strike, we have instructed our council to immediately move to court and file the status report as to what we had agreed to and initialed on as a return to work formula. Equally, we will be asking our council to appeal to the court to review the orders that had been issued initially so that we are allowed to take the necessary action to ensure that Kenyans continue to enjoy healthcare services. Lastly, based on what I said yesterday of the monies the ministry had received for NHIF, I would like to confirm that as of this morning, a total of 2 billion has been paid for Linda Mama arrears to all health facilities. Equally, 1 billion has been paid to all faith-based facilities that had claims. 1.5 billion has been paid to all government facilities that were owed. And lastly, 2 billion has been paid to private health facilities. I would like to tell the service providers that by the end of today or latest tomorrow, they need to check their accounts because these monies have already been wired. I thank you.
Thank you so much. As we had agreed, we'll take 2 questions, 2 that will be directed to the chairperson, Council of Governors, and also 2 that will be directed to the CS Health, Madam Susan Nakhumicha. So kindly, as we do it, please be brief and also tell us the media house that you represent, and also to the personality that you direct your question to. Let's start with you, lady.
Now,
after this.
My question is to Chair COG. You've mentioned that you've instructed the county government to take further action following now what the doctors have already said. We know prior to this meeting, several counties have gone to court to meet notices of firing their doctors. Your county, Nyeri County, as well as Nairobi County. So is this the way we're headed? Are you now going, as county governments, are you going to now start firing doctors because they will not bend? And my second question also, you know the bone of contention has been the 206,000 shillings of the payment of interns. So if it is bent, the union is not going to bend. What is the way forward? Besides, yes, you're going to court. The CS has mentioned that you're going to go to court because of advice and prayers to be cancelled. But now, what is the way forward?
I think on the issue of whether doctors will be fired, I'm sure you know that every county is a respective employer. And as you can see, we are representing the Council of Governors. We are 47 county governments. Each county has a HR policy, and each county is independent. And the counties have agreed unanimously that they will take whatever necessary action that is required to stop the sufferings of Kenyans. I think there is a time, and that is why we have outlined the process. It's been many weeks. We've been sitting here long days and in various other forums, and we have gone the whole mile. On the county side, we have given in into everything, and still we are at this place for no good reason. And for that, every county will take the necessary action as they deem fit. And it will not be specific to a county, but I'm sure you will be seeing the necessary action as we go forward. I think the issue of the interns is not for county governments, but I would just like to say one thing that never seems to be very clear. This is a new term of contract. If, for example, you had hired an individual, let's say for the sake of an analysis, let's say you had hired a driver at 80,000 shillings. And for some reason your income reduced, and now you can only afford a driver for 30,000 shillings. And you advertise and you say, I'm looking for a driver for 30,000. Your new driver, having read the terms of the contract being 30, cannot come and request for a payment of your previous driver, because those two are not in relation. They are not related, because it's not the same job. I think we need to communicate clearly that there is no intern who's in place who was earning 200 and then it was reduced. It is a new term of contract based on where we are at as counties, as national government. The counties on our side, we are ready to receive the interns who are willing to come and complete their training so that they can be certified, and then they get to the terms that have been agreed on, which I think are not in dispute. I just thought that I would clarify that, because sometimes up country people think that salaries of doctors have been reduced. These are salaries of those who are still in school and who are just doing practicals, as we used to call them in our days. The internship is practical so that you can get your certificate. And for counties, we are willing and providing the facilities for them to continue getting the training for as long as they're willing to come and do the training. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kwa majina naitwa Emmanuel jana mlipokuwa mnahutubia taifa mlisema kwamba leo Wakenya wanatarajia maisha meupe, lakini kufikia sasa mnawaelezea kitu tofauti. Nini kinajiri kutokea kesho na leo? Pili ni kwamba madaktari wanasema kwamba kama serikali mnashikilia misimamo mikali na kubali mjadiliane kuhusiana na swala la madaktari wanafunzi. Je, ni wao wanawalaumu nyinyi ama ni nyinyi mnalaumu madaktari? Asante.
Niseme Kiswahili changu sio sanifu sana kama chako, lakini nitajaribu kwa upande wetu kama baraza la magavana. Kama ambavyo umesikia, sisi kama gavana hakuna request hata moja ambayo walikuwa nayo ambayo hatukuwa tumekubaliana. Na ndio kwa sababu tunashangaa na tuko na masikitiko sana ya kwamba tumekuwa tukingojea, tulikuwa tumetarajia, hata mliona tulikuwa tumetangaza jana. Yaani tumemaliza, tunangojea sahihi, tupeleke kotini, madaktari warudi kazini. Lakini usiku tukapata ujumbe ya kwamba kuna vile maneno yamebadilika. Kwa hivyo sisi hatuwezi sema ni magavana ambao wanalaumu mtu yeyote. Sisi kama sasa serikali za kaunti ni lazima sasa tufike mahali tuseme wananchi wameteseka ya kutosha, na tuwezi endelea kuzunguka kwa kiwanja na hakuna lolote ambalo wamesema wanataka hatujawapatia, lakini bado hawataki kurudi kazini. Kwa hivyo ndio kwa sababu magavana wamekubaliana ya kwamba kila kaunti kulingana na msimamo wetu watachukua hatua vile ambavyo wataweza ili kupunguza uchungu ambao uko kule kwa wananchi kwa sababu ya kukosa service delivery ya afya.
Asante.
One more.
Asante. Wakati madaktari walileta notisi ya kuanza mgomo, walikuwa na masuala 19 ambayo walihitaji yatatuliwe. Kati ya hayo masuala 19, 18.5 yameshatatuliwa. Na katika kutatuliwa huko, pesa taslimu shilingi bilioni 6.1 zimepeanwa kwa madaktari. Kwa hivyo hilo jambo ambalo 5 halijatatuliwa sio kwa sababu serikali haitaki kutatua. Ni kwa sababu kuna kesi kotini ambayo imesema hilo jambo lisubiri. Basi serikali inasubiri hilo jambo litatuliwe, kisha yote 19 yatakuwa yametatuliwa. Asante.
We'll take the final question.
Thank you. My name is the Information Liberation Spot recently ruled that there's 30 days for talks between both parties, and what we're getting now is somewhat different. We have quite a number of days left. So my question is, does this mean this is the last talks that are going to be held, and we are now at a point where the government is now taking action against striking doctors? And ultimately, as a CS for health, we know you're quite passionate about achievement of universal health coverage. What level of dent does this put in that roadmap towards its
I will answer that question because I'm the ultimate employer. I've also employed Susan as a Minister for Public Service. But before that, let me just say some few things. One, as a minister, I have been extremely patient and accommodative to the union. My inclusion being having been ordered by the court, because matters HR are my responsibility across government. And I've been extremely patient and walked this journey with the union. But 3 things really for me are of major regret. One, I am not used to dishonesty. I cannot understand how you go for a meeting, you agree on one thing, 2 hours later, people change goalpost of what you agree. For me, that is an extremely strange territory. It's, for me, it is really unfortunate that people as educated as doctors can really lack honesty to that level. People whom we entrust with our lives. My second regret is all of you, media, and the country have been saying again and again that government needs to respect court orders. And now, I was expecting the public, and especially you in the media, to equally hold the doctors to the same threshold of responsibility that you hold us. How can court orders be flouted, that the strike is suspended? Not once, not twice, 3 times. But if it was government, that could have been a different story. I did not find equal voices from the media and from the public, from civil society, that keeps asking government, why are you not respecting court orders? Why are you not holding these people if we want to have a country that is ruled by the rule of law? My third regret is I have been around several cabinet ministers for health. I was around Mailu, I was around Macharia, I was around Mutahi Kagwe. And in those regimes, there were industrial actions. But for those ministers, matters were restricted to the issues at hand. But for my sister here, it is the first time I've seen a lot of personalization of the issues. Is it because she's a woman? And if we want to, because I've seen a lot of, disproportionate treatment between this particular cabinet secretary and the previous cabinet secretaries. And again, even the women folk of this country are not speaking about it. And for me, that's unfortunate. Anyway, I digress. I want to say as follows. One, we know, and last week we were in the wage bill conference, and I did state there, 1 million of us, 1 million people, public servants, consuming over 50% of our tax revenues. And we said that it's not me or you or the President of the Republic of Kenya. There's something wrong. There's something terribly wrong when 1 million people take half of our tax revenues, and then the 53 million people take another one. And we have committed as a government to nothing but honesty and to say the truth, no matter how unpalatable. That is why, if the doctors think that we are against them, this week, on Friday, I will be moving to Cabinet to present a proposal, a recommendation, which, if Cabinet approves, all government workers, at least on the national government, COG can speak for county government, all government workers from driver to cleaners to everybody will be converted to contract. There is not going to be anybody permanent anymore. If you want to be permanent, show me that even on earth, your tenure is permanent. We are all on contract, even on this earth. We are all on contract. As we do that, we are going to convert them from permanent and pensionable to contract, but still pensionable. So that now, our service, I am on contract, President of this country is on contract, Governor of Kirinyaga is on contract. We are all going to be on contract because we have to focus on matters productivity. 2, let me mention a bit on the issue of internship. In the month of March, we recruited from Public Service Commission 8,600 interns to work across government. Now, 2 things. One, these people, these 8,600, are on a salary of 25,000 Kenya shillings. 25,000. 2, when we advertised for these positions, 58,000 people applied. 8,000 people is an improvement from 3,000 which last year, and I did effort to ensure that we get resources to increase to 8,000. But still, 50,000 graduates, people who went to school, and you don't want to tell me this degree is more important than the other degree, could not get internship of 25,000. They would be very happy to get 25,000, let alone the 70,000 that we are talking about here. I know I'm saying this matter is in court, our hands are tied, but again, I am going to have public participation on this issue of an internship policy that cuts across board for everyone. Finally, let me say that this circus is over. You saw here, You are here with us 3 days. We come here, 47 governors with Bendera. We are here, 14% of the cabinet is here, by the way. 14% of the cabinet sitting here. Not 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. The amount of humiliation that you've been taken through by the union is just unimaginable. It's on another level. So this is the end of the circus. Employers are here. 47 governors would go and do what they do best. KNH is here. KUTLH is here. MTLH is here. Those are the employers. And we are saying that because we have been entrusted with the lives of Kenyans, as a responsible government, we cannot discuss in perpetuity. So we will do whatever it takes to plug in the gaps, and we want to tell the public that all good things must have a sacrifice. And as I finish, as a Minister for Public Service, I'm in charge of payroll. And I want to say that the union, I cannot continue working for free for a union which is not respecting court orders. So I've instructed my payroll people not to remit the dues for this particular union, because I'll be abetting crime, and I'll be abetting, disrespect for court orders. Enough is enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think the statements will be made available in due course. Thank you so much.